and also has a result message property. So let's add a new view model here. So I'll call it update view model. Let's first add this command. Okay, I also want to extend the base view model here. I'm going to use some functionality there. Let's also create our result message. And I'm going to use a backing field. And then let's add our execute template method for the command that we created before. Execute update templates. The URL that we want to use here, let's go find that real quick. So I've got that page open here in my browser. Let me add that here. And we're going to use the same file name that we used before. We'll find that real quick. Here it is. Okay, so now now that we've loaded this up, I'm going to create a event basically using the messaging center to kind of notify that the templates have been updated. It's a broadcast message, and on the template packs page, we're going to subscribe to this message so we can handle refreshing the list itself. Let's just build it. Okay, alright, so, okay, I'm missing a semicolon there. Let's try it again. And then we need to assign that command. So let's go back here. We need to move this button down a little bit.
How did Daddy want some ice? You want some ice?
This button is taking up too much space here. Let me go and set my horizontal options to center and try again. That's better. Okay, let's go back to the update page, or on the template packs page. We need to go through and actually make this to get loaded from the view model. There's plenty of ways to do it. I'm just going to do kind of a little hack. Just a quick way to implement this is just going to use monospace fonts to line it up. A better way probably would be to use separate labels in a grid. But just for quick and dirty type of implementation, I'll just use a monospace font and align it like that. So let me go back to this template packs page. So this is where we've got that hard-coded information. Just grab this string. So we'll create properties for each one of these and then bind them. So in the template packs view model, let me go back and add these items. And so we're going to create properties for each one of these, and then since they can get updated, I'll use a backing property and then call set property inside of it, so that way when they're updated, the view will then get updated as well. So let me do that. Okay. I'm just going to make a method to set these. Let me go back and update my view. Okay, now let's actually set these. Scoped it again. Okay, now let's run it.
the rings to me. What did you do with my rings?
Now we can see that the numbers are showing up here correctly. So what I need to do now is go through and respond to this the update event which we created. Oops. The update event which we created earlier. Let's go back here. So now we need to subscribe to this event here. So let me just copy this for now. We're gonna subscribe to that event and then respond to it. Alright, so let me stop this. Let's go back and take a look at our view here for template packs page. Alright, so this is where we initially kicked off the load items command, and you can see that we just call it one time if the items are empty, so this is what we need to update. The way I'm going to do this is just to set a Boolean flag. And I'll set this to true in the constructor. And then we'll say if update. Alright, so now what I'm going to do is subscribe to the event which we created before. And then this will actually just update that Boolean property.
Good job!
And we'll set a breakpoint here as well. Okay, alright. So I think that's it. So let's try it out. Let's run it and then try to exercise the update functionality. Let's take a note of these numbers, 268, 197, 12194. Alright, so we clicked update template list. Okay, so nothing happened. Let me go back to my update page. Update templates, yeah, so that's right. Let's go here. Let's try it one more time. Okay, so nothing's happening here. Let's see what's going on. So update template list button. Right, okay, so let me go here, and maybe I didn't actually configure my bindings, my binding context. Yeah, right, okay. Update view model. Okay, let's try it again. Alright, so there we go. So now the update action is being called. This will go and download the file, save it to the device, and then just reload it to make sure that we've successfully been able to download and load that file. Let's continue. Now the message should go out. Go back to okay, we can see that the numbers have increased. Oh, actually, you know, the problem is here, it didn't actually work, but this is always set to true. So let me go back here and fix this. And then maybe I have a typo or something. Alright, so let me grab this. Yeah, right, okay, so this was mistyped, so let's try it again. This is why I normally try to copy and paste, but for this one I just typed it out. But let's try it one more time and make sure that breakpoint does actually get hit. Okay, so let's continue. Okay, so here we go. So now it sets it to true, and then when we go back to on appearing, I will reset that back to false. So now on appearing, okay, and then we reset it back to false, and then it will not reload until we go back and do that process one more time. Alright, let me make another commit here. Let's run it to see where we're at, basically, see what else is left to be done. Let's go, I think we should add some sort of a padding here. It looks very cramped. Let me close all the windows, and then I'll go back to my template packs page. I'm going to add a left margin of 5 pixels to each one of these labels here. Alright, now the other thing we need to do is to fix up the icon here. We just got the no icon view here, and I think that's about it. And then we're pretty much done with this first version of the app. Okay, great. So let me take a look how my new margin looks like, and then we'll get started on doing the image icon work, and then go from there. Alright, so the new margin gave us a little bit of kind of breathing room here on the left hand side. Alright, so we're done with that. Let me make another commit for that small change, and then we'll get started on the images and icons. Okay, to assign the app icons, I'm going to go into the assets here. There's an app icon area here, and these are the different items we want to set depending on which devices we want to support. So I've got iPhone icons, iPad icons, the App Store, and then similarly, and then additional icons for other devices. For this app, I'm just going to fill up the iPhone and iPad, and then of course the App Store icon. Let me open up Photoshop here. From the website that I created, I have a Photoshop file for the icon. So I'm going to use that to generate the different sizes. So let me go and browse to that file. Let me open it up. Let's go here. It should be web, www images, and I've got some icons I could use here, but we'll just that's from a different time that I did this. We're going to walk through the whole thing here. So I've got it. Let me actually go and save this in a different location. Just make a new folder here. Let's save it here. Okay, great. So now let's get rid of some of these windows here. Okay, so that's fine. Let's make it a little bit smaller. Let me make this smaller as well. Okay, so the icons that we need to create, the sizes are listed here basically. There's probably different ways to do this. I'm just going to use Photoshop and individually create each one of these icons, and then just kind of map them on top. There are some websites that could provide this functionality. The few that I've used, they haven't really produced high quality images for me, so that's why I'm just going to use Photoshop to actually generate each one of these files. But you may find some alternative approach that's actually better for you. In either case, let me go through. I'm going to create PNGs of these exact sizes and then go from there. Alright, so if you're using Photoshop, you always have to be careful to pick PNG here. Actually, let me go back. Let me set the image size. So I'll say 40, and then I'm going to save this as a PNG in that same folder for now. And I'll say -40. Okay, and then I'll undo the resize, and then I'll resize it to a different size. So we'll say 60 here, and then we'll save that. PNG -60. Now I'll set it to 58. Save it as a PNG. And once again, I'm getting these numbers from here. Basically, those are the ones that I'm creating. '87. '80 for this one. $20. $180 for this one. $20. $40 now. That one's already there. Okay, all right. 40, 29, and then 58. Oops, almost saved it as a Photoshop file. $29. Now let's do 58. What else we have? 40, we already have 80, we already have 76 and 152. So 76, oops, 75, let's do 76. And then 152. And then 167. Okay, and then finally 1024 by 1024. And this one is a little different actually. What I need to do, and since this is the App Store icon, it doesn't allow any sort of transparency in the PNG. So what we need to do is actually remove the transparency mask. So I'm going to go to Layer, okay, Layer Mask. Actually, let me show the layers here first. Okay, there we go. Actually, you know what I'm going to do is merge these two, and then I'm going to go to Layer Mask from Transparency, and then I'm just going to delete this one. And then now it's filled in with white, as you can see. Okay, so I'll save as, and in this case, if I didn't go through and do that when I tried to upload when I try to upload it to the Apple Store, that's when you would actually get that error. So I'm just going to go ahead and resolve that now. Alright, so now this has all been changed. We've got all of our icons ready. Let me go to the Finder, and then I'll start assigning these icons. Actually, I'll just go from top to bottom, probably. 40, there's another 40 around here somewhere. There it is. Say yes on that one. Here's another 40. Say yes to that one. Okay, so now let's just go one by one, basically. Oops. So let's say 60. We want 58. 87. And we want 80. 120. 120 again. 180 here. 29. 58. And we've got 80 again. And then 76. 152. 167. And then 1024. Let's go ahead and let me just double check. Okay, so now they've all been assigned, the ones that I'm interested in. Close out of this, and then let's run it and double check that those icons have come through. Okay, let's go back to the, okay, there we go. So now we can see that we've got our template icon associated here with that instead of the default which we had before. So that looks a lot better. The next thing I want to do is I want to work on this name here. So we've got dotnet mobile here. That's not a very descriptive name. It's not a very good name at all, basically. So we need to change that. Let me stop this. Let me go into my info.plist. This is where we would assign that name. And ideally, you want this to be less than 12 characters. In some cases, if there are 12 or more characters, and if there's a space, the space may get removed automatically. I'm just going to call this templates. And let's try this. We may have to go back and make a manual edit after this. I'm not sure. Let's take a look. Alright, let me see if that worked or not. It may not have worked because we had a bug in this version. Okay, right, so that didn't work. What I need to do is actually load up the info.plist and make a manual edit to it. We've got a bug in this version of the code. So let me go back and I'll open that. Go up to .NET Mobile. Here is what we want. Let's say don't save for these. Alright, so now I'm going to open up my info.plist and make a manual edit. Alright, so we can see that we've got .NET Mobile assigned here, and then the update that we made assigned it to CF bundle name, but it didn't change the display name, which is what we really need to get updated. Hopefully we'll get this fixed here in a version soon. Let me run that one more time and see if it works. There we go. I don't know, maybe you missed that part. Let's go back. Okay, so here we can see it says templates now. And when I go into it, it's got all the functionality that we want. So we're pretty much done with our app at this point. What we can do is now actually take this and then upload it to iTunes Connect or the iTunes Store. We could also share this. We could also share it out using TestFlight before we go into the App Store. But I think that's that may be for another video. So we'll leave it at this, and that's it. So that's the complete end-to-end of building the .NET New template app. Thanks for watching, and leave comments below on any feedback that you have on this. Thank you.